Good evening.
What's up, Dungeon Master?
Tuesday evening.
Oh, it is Tuesday. God dang it. I was almost going to sing Monday. Tuesday.
How was everybody's long weekend?
Full of grilling. I thought that grill worked.
Didn't have one.
Cade worked all weekend. Lord loves a working man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
That is very true.
It was good. Decent enough trip.
Good.
Where did you go to, CJ?
I went to Illinois.
Not Chicago.
Family. No.
Okay, thank you.
You got to get Chicago.
It's dangerous there. Murder capital of the world.
Well,
No, not in the suburbs that I would be going to.
They're a gun-free zone. They got more killings. They got more shootings in Chicago than any place in the United States, and they're a completely gun-free zone. So go check it out.
Only people with guns when you live, make them legal are the bad guys.
That's what they say. I've heard that before.
Well, nobody needs an AR-15.
Absolutely true.
I mean, I don't have a reason for one. I'm as a Second Amendment person, I am 100% for people owning firearms. But I am I guess man enough to say that nobody needs an AR-15. Nobody needs anything that can be illegally or legally modified to fully automatic.
Nope. And people, there ought to be background checks.
Well, there are
Oh,
background
yeah.
checks.
Simple things.
And some sort of, pass some sort of test, something other than.
I've bought 5 weapons in the last 2 years, and I have never not gotten a background check done.
Well, you get a background check, but what are they going to? They don't deny it. I mean, when my father-in-law completely lost his mind and was threatening to shoot up half the town and me, they said, "Well, we can't really do anything about it."
So I was in Rural King. The last weapon I bought was a Taurus 856 38 special revolver. And I was talking to the guy. He was doing my paperwork, and he had left my license sitting on the counter. And I said, "Hey, can I get my license back if you're going?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I don't want to forget. I got a whole drawer full of licenses." And I go, "Why do you have a whole drawer full of licenses?" He goes, "Well, because when people fail their background checks, they just take off and run. They don't even worry about their license."
I mean, but those background checks are like looking for, do you have a warrant outstanding for your arrest or something like that. If
Right.
You don't have to pass any kind of mental.
That is
health,
true. And mental health should definitely be addressed for owning a firearm.
Yep.
And I am not completely against the legal firearm age being 21.
Amen.
So, I mean, and I'm diehard conservative, and I know, Jared, you're diehard liberal, and there's nothing wrong with that either way,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, we just met in the middle.
It's not that hard. There's no. I would never say we got to take away all guns. We just got to make things a little more reasonable. That's all.
Yeah.
People
I own guns.
seem to
I've got
be a bit less willing to compromise.
Yeah. Well, that's
I,
politics in general, but
Yeah.
I've got a whole passel full of guns. Grew up with them. Grew up hunting.
I need to get me a Passel to keep my guns with.
Yeah, there you go. I've got a sweet Belgian-made Browning Sweet 16 shotgun. It's a
You know, I
solid
recently
rim barrel.
picked up my dad passed away in 2008, but for some reason my stepmom was cleaning out their closet and found two guns, long guns, in there, back in a corner behind some stuff. One was a 30-06 hunting rifle, and the other one was a 1960 Western Auto 22 rifle. And apparently that was actually made by a car manufacturer. And it's supposed to be worth a little bit of money. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it too far, but it's supposed to be worth a few coins.
I remember when I was very young, I was probably 10 maybe, my father opened up like a CD in some bank in Iowa, and they sent him was it a Remington 270 rifle, hunting rifle with a big giant scope on it, for opening up that account. Can you imagine?
Nice.
The most American thing I've ever heard.
Can you imagine opening up a bank account now and saying, "Oh, here's your gun"?
Damn, what bank was this? I'm going to apply tomorrow.
This was probably like 1980.
Guys, I want you all to know that when Davy Crockett was running for the Senate for the state of Kentucky, he would go door to door with a sack of tobacco and a jug of whiskey and give everybody that would talk to him about voting for him a plug of tobacco or a swig of whiskey or both.
Nice.
That was just like his MO.
Seems reasonable to me.
Well, I know that
And they won't believe you.
when Barr comes by my house next time, I'm going to ask him where his jug of whiskey is.
Andy Barr's.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if freaking somebody was running for any office like dog catcher or president of the United States with that plan now?
What are you talking about, John? Remember when Gatewood Galbraith would come over to the Pike House and smoke fucking blunts
Smoke
with
weed
us?
with us? I do.
Yeah, but he never got taken seriously as a candidate because of that and other.
I voted for him.
And the fact that he was on news.
I actually did
with
once, too.
With a sign. He got Jared's vote and like 3 other guys' votes, but a lot of the people who told him they were going to vote for him forgot to vote for him. Let's be honest.
Because they were stoned when they told him that. Because
That's
he
right.
got the
Hey, man.
And
Are you going to vote for that
some
dude, what's his name? I don't remember. That's just good.
Gatewood was just about 30 years ahead of the curve, man.
Yeah.
He would come in that hemp suit.
Can you imagine Gatewood Galbraith running the Bernie Sanders campaign? That'd be pretty good.
Win or lose, that's just a fun campaign.
When I was
Amen.
about 12 years old, he was dating a woman who went to my church, and they would come to my church.
Nice.
The church
All
was,
right.
it was interesting. It was the church of what's happening now. It was a Presbyterian church.
What's happening now? So was their hymnal like?
That's right. We were dancing now, like reruns.
Rerun recorded every choir session.
I'd sing in his choir. That'd be awesome.
And rerun was the shit.
Oh, that man can dance. All right, so Joe Bob is
Right
going
on
to be a
his
little
feet.
late. Cameron, I think, gave him some jobs to do.
Oh hell.
He
Doesn't
was
she
not
know?
expecting.
Cameron.
So, anyway,
Well,
I'm gonna-
that might be good for us guys if you'll think about it for a moment.
Yeah,
Maybe
we are in
should
Menzoberranzan.
revisit.
Yeah, we
Uh,
did to sneak in, and he is
You're right.
pretty.
Cam, if you're listening, thank
I'm
you so
coming
much.
in there just straight up EB.
All right, here is the map again. I will share this with you. You might want to leave it up for a minute, put it to the
It's a
background.
tip-top map.
Prefer.
I love this map.
So the map with the web
This is an
wall, we don't
awesome
need
map.
that anymore, right?
You do not need the map with the web on it. This is just to give you a reminder that Austal. How I'm going to say Austal. Austal has shown you this map previously, so it kind of gives you. If you all see the little red pins. On
No, we don't see those.
No, that's only for DN.
All right. So that's where you are. So you guys are over. I'll show you where you guys are. You guys just
We're
came
in the
up
West
out.
Rift.
Yep. You guys just came up out of the West Rift. You see my little circle there?
Yeah.
So that's where you guys are, and you are going to, or your goal is to get to Eastmere over here. That's where
With the
Narvindale's
shadow.
Narvindale's
Narvindale's
shadow.
shadow.
And that's where we gotta take the heart.
No, that's where
No,
you
that's
gotta.
where we're gonna find a
Oh,
tavern.
that's where. Yeah,
By
that's the
that
halfling. The halfling. tavern.
He wants you.
Yeah,
When you get to that
Actually,
halfling
the
owned
north
tower,
is where we need to dig the heart.
and yeah, and then
Yeah.
Tirbrek. I think it's
Yep, I see it up there with the
is
spider up there.
Yep, up here with the. Up in here. That's where you got to get into Sorcerer to get all the business.
Oh, business.
So you
We should have
just
probably done this before, but we probably should do it now since we haven't done it before. What are we going to do if our disguises fail? What is our plan?
scatter.
Last case, oh shit
Follow
scenario
ED.
of darkness.
Well, they're drowned.
Follow EB. Do
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true. A drow will also be able to see straight through.
They
so.
can't. They can't see through magic.
Oh, they
Ev-
can't
ev-
see through it now.
Everyone, just stop. Look at your bracelet that says WWEBD.
Oh,
I mean,
Shoot
from the
first,
laws that
ask
they
questions
have,
later.
yeah,
Well-
from the laws that they have, it's a death sentence to impersonate, to all that kind of stuff.
Only
So
for a
if we
slave
get
to do
caught,
Anything that
No, it's
isn't
not.
Lolth that's brought up is also basically a death sentence if it's another deity.
for a drought, like yeah,
Yeah.
the other deity is forgiven. If it's not a slave, like if it's a regular person, you get one chance. And then, but if you're a drought, that's straight death.
That's pretty much it.
I'll only be half dead.
So are we gonna just scatter and try to reconvene at the tavern, or what are we gonna do?
We'll have to.
'Cause
Yeah.
I think it's a really good possibility that that's gonna happen.
Yeah. We're
So
just
where
gonna have to-
will our reconvening be?
I mean, I have a globe of invulnerability
That's
if we really need to plan something
But
in the heat
that
of the
just
moment.
buys us time, though. I mean, that just
Right.
creates a little, place for us to.
And for more enemies to come surround it until.
That's right. I mean, we can't fight our way out. That's the
No.
thing that EV and we all need to fucking understand is this is not a scenario that we can fight our way out of. It is an insurmountable magnitude of people that
I don't like your pessimism.
we have to we have to stay covert.
Well, use those lucks on your charismas in case, just because you're gonna have to do some heavy lifting, acting like a drow priestess of a
Get us
house.
out of
Yeah.
the jams.
Need a push
I
up,
will.
bro.
Is that acting as a priestess? I think is one of the higher
Oh yeah.
offenses we
very,
could
very
do.
offensive. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
Oh, yeah.
especially with the major matriarchy that's with the sorceresses.
Yeah, but I'm
You're
trying
gonna
to
go big.
go as a low
Go big
level,
tits or go home.
not a big.
No, I like it. It's like putting on one of the neon construction vests and just walking in somewhere like you should.
Well, this leads into the question that I had or have for you. So you've got to make your way, basically across all of Menzoberranzan. And I was going to ask you, how do you intend to travel? Are you going to just walk out in the middle of the road like you own the place? You're going to try to be like stick to the shadows and through the back alleys?
I have a question. You said, how long does the portable hole last in there? Like, can I just get my weapons back and you guys just carry me in the portable hole, let me out every 10 minutes and go back in?
We'd have to find a place every 10 minutes that would be suitable.
Yeah, 'cause
We
I
just
think
have
it's
to
only got
time it
10
up
minutes.
well.
It's only got 10 minutes of air. Is that right?
Yes.
Does anybody have a watch?
I guess you're. Well,
I have
we've
an
got,
There's a watch on
we've got
everything.
an Arvindale. We can have time with that. But I was going to say, I guess we're counting on Austal to be our guide, Jared. So we're going to do what he recommends.
Well, does
Okay.
he know? Wherever we can meet some of the Council of Spiders or whoever it is that we're meeting it up with.
His goal is to get to the end where you guys can lay low. Then he's going to go make contact with the Council of Spiders. That was the plan.
Now,
Okay.
that's the plan. But is he wanting us to just kind of walk through the city and just blend in, so to speak, or is he wanting to be a little more covert than that? I thought that we were just going to, it's a freaking hustling, bustling city, and we're going to just try not to draw attention to ourselves and go that way. But he is our guide, so I think we should defer to, hear his opinion.
If we act too stealthy, we're gonna draw heads. If we don't,
That's more.
if we exactly. So I just think just look at what everybody else is doing and just do the same.
Two groups of 4 walking around,
Fly
so
catch.
we're not walking 8 strong.
I think we should walk single file.
Whoever's putting their weapons, or whoever's acting like slaves and putting their weapons in bags or holes or whatever the fuck they're doing, we need to put them all in separate ones because it'll take 2 rounds to get weapons out if they're in one bag.
Hang on just one second, guys.
Somebody needs to get Valor's out. Somebody needs to get Daiki's out. Whoever else is hiding.
I've got
Yeah.
one.
Mine are in my bag that I gave to you.
Yeah. So I
We
can
have
waste.
3 bags of holding, so this shouldn't be a problem. But I think you're carrying Tenebrous, right? As part of your disguise.
Yeah, I'm just a kid with a stick,
Yeah.
So
You need a
I
hoop?
don't have to worry about mine. Yeah, I need a hoop.
Yeah, that'd be good. I should.
Who's mercenary? Who's
What's that?
You're cutting in and out,
Anybody-
James. You're kind of robot-y.
Say it
He
again.
was asking who's playing a mercenary.
I think that's your boy EB.
I
Yeah.
believe that's EB.
PB is playing Black Erron.
Garen, yeah.
Yeah,
BE.
Black Erron. Yeah. Okay. So Estel steps up and says, well, first you notice that he's kind of quiet, and he's looking out at the city, and as you kind of start to look around and take note of your new surroundings in this Menzoberranzan, you notice also a lot of damage to buildings, a lot of damage to the lanterns that hang around or around the streets.
Does it look
Buildings
like
that were probably at one time occupied or dark. And he kind of gathers himself and says, "Come, we must come this way, we must go this way. We will not walk by the main roads, but to the sides. But we will walk as if we belong here." And he starts.
I'd like to do an insight check on
Yeah,
it. just because
insight,
I'm always
insight.
doing it. I just dropped it in the dice tower.
Okay. Anybody else?
No. I would say, Wham, you walk in front since you're the lady, and we're all following behind, I guess.
Look at that ass.
He just walks a little too comfortable in those high heels.
Shin, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to hit me a few times, go ahead. You're a little kid.
Yeah, he's gonna come up with
Everybody,
kick you in your shin.
everybody eyes what he's saying. He just looks a little shaken when he saw the damage.
I tell what type of damage it is. Is it like arcane, or is it just like
Demons running
battle
amok.
scar? Yeah. Is it terrestrial?
I would say probably Valor's got it head on there. Demons running amok.
Turned over trash
Caused-
cans, bashed
Yeah.
mailboxes.
Exactly.
Kind of like in Ghostbusters, like 2/3 the way through the movie.
Yeah,
Yes,
poop on
yes.
their doorstep. You know, they light it on fire, stamp it out.
Ding dong ditch, baby.
Somebody turned over the hot dog cart. Ate all the hot instead, like 10 hot dogs in his mouth at one time. So, all right. So he puts his head down and he walks beside Chance
Yep.
as you start making your way through again. You're kind of sticking to the side streets, and I'm just going to draw a little arrow, kind of the direction that he's taking you. And he's making his way towards the bazaar.
We are what we are.
Yep. So let's do a little one of these here.
While you're doing that, Jared, Shin like tugs on Wham's skirt and says, "Mommy, Mommy, I want a tattoo."
As you round
You'll
the
get a
corner,
tattoo when you kill an uplander.
Okay.
surfacer.
Surface.
I don't think you want to hear anybody talking about uplanders. That might be somewhat confusing.
I might get my genres mixed up.
As you turn a corner, you see a female drow with what appear to be 4 bugbear bodyguards, along with half a dozen of what must be slaves. Look like commoners. There's some dwarves, maybe an orc, halfling. Clearly slaves. You know, they're dressed in rags, if anything at all. And this drow, that clearly noble, is flogging one of them just mercilessly as the bugbear bodyguards watch over the other ones. And just beats and beats and beats. What do you do? Or do you do anything at all?
I think we would look around and see how the rest of. I would take my cues from Alstel and Zilchin and whoever else is on the street, and I would blend. I mean, I'm not.
Pays no attention to
Yeah,
it.
Zilchin's not even looking over there.
Yeah.
How
I'm not.
how
here
they
to
treat their slaves
settle
or
a squabble.
Which
Or up
ones
to
of the
each
slaves are they
house.
beating?
They're beating a halfling.
Does it look like it's does Shin look like it's notice that it's a ghostwise halfling? I knew that was coming. Because they were enslaved. The ghostwise were enslaved by the drow.
As this pitiful halfling falls unconscious, this female drow noble picks it up. It doesn't even pick it up, more or less drags it by the hair
Oh, Shin is like
over to the edge of the rift and says, who speaks drow? Anyone?
Me.
yeah, I do.
I assumed you
is that
did.
just undercommon? Or is it drow?
It's different.
Drow-
Drow is different from underground.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And you hear in this, rough, it almost sounds like French, but meaner,
Yeah, that sounds meaner than French.
German.
Oh no, it sounds like German. It sounds like a German speaking French. That's really
Oh,
what
boy.
it sounds like.
Got that inflection of
On
the.
a different mileage.
I don't know if Shin's
So-
gonna be able to.
She just drags this unconscious halfling over to the edge of the rift and tosses it unceremoniously into the depths.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
And is
Alright,
everybody
dead.
watching?
I know Shin's going to cast levitate on it when it gets out of her sight. I don't know. He's got to hurt what she does too. Shit. I mean, he can't do it. I mean, shit.
What
his
does he?
feet
What does
are-
she say, Jared?
She says, "You will never look at me in my eyes again."
Does she turn around
Basically.
immediately after she throws him?
No, she just watches it fall.
Guys, I'm sorry.
And basically, she's beaten this halfling senseless and tossed him into this rift because he met her eyes with his.
I mean,
We're
okay.
gonna see this everywhere.
I know. I
And
just don't
Torment
do it.
tries
She
to put
watched-
himself between Shin and what's going on.
I keep my gaze low.
We would be braced for this kind of thing. We know what to expect. We're not walking in here naive.
Of course, but I mean, it is a ghostwise halfling, and they were enslaved, and he was a slave, and he got experimented on and all this shit. And you know, the Master Tenebrous and the Shadow Monks came in and liberated them from the Drow. I just don't know
I
how.
understand
I
your
just don't know. I mean, I'm just being honest. I just don't know how he could just sit back and watch that.
I'll message him and say,
How is he on a covert operation with a larger goal than one person? I mean, that's the
Of
how.
course it is. Of
What
course
were you
it
saying,
is.
Valor?
But
I'll message to Shin
he's
to be strong, my friend. I know this is hard, but if we can summon these demons, this whole place will go down in flames.
I think that's well more than 25 words.
It's not a 25 word thing. Is it?
Well, that's all he's
I thought the
giving.
message was 25 words. Or is that
might
syndicate's
be.
25 words?
That wasn't
One
right.
of them is 25 words.
Shin, which we've kind of been loose with that.
Shin
I was just giving him a hard time.
Shin like goes like he's gonna run over there, and Torment steps in front of him. Valor, messages him, and Torment's hand like stops him on his chest, and he just kind of stops and puts his head down and just looks away, and he's just that just crushed him. I mean, his morale's low right now. I mean, it was
Torment says to
difficult.
Shin,
Very
I know your morale is low, but you must think of the greater good.
Yeah, Zildjian just kind of like falls back into the line, just whispers in his ear, "You haven't seen anything yet."
And
The
Shin, he replies, he goes,
female-
"I've seen plenty."
The noble female looks up in your direction. And she yells out in Drow. "What are you looking at, child?" And she looks to Chance. "Keep your snot-nosed brat in line." Something along those lines.
Shin just keeps looking at her.
I walk over to Shen and I smack him with the back of my hand and push him behind me, and then just keep walking.
She watches you go and rounds up the other slaves and wanders off through West Wall.
When you smack him and push him, like his head flips back, and you push him behind, but he turns his head back and never stops looking at that lady as we walk off. He's still staring at her. He's trying to remember who she is. Just trying to remember, all of it.
For vengeance.
Yeah, for later.
As you continue walking along, and you leave these folks behind, and you get to more of a little more sparse area, like right through here, as you're making your way to the bazaar. You're everybody roll perception checks, please.
Open
That's,
or tower?
Just a little bit of exposition. That's how Shin and his race learned telepathy, is because they were slaves to the Drow for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they were never allowed to look at them. So they always had to look, at their shins. That's why I hate Shin so much. But they were never allowed to look at them. They weren't allowed to speak. So they, over just centuries, they developed a telepathy between themselves, and that's why, because they were not allowed to talk. So.
All right.
Did you say perception?
So basically, everyone with the exception of Valor notices what
My eyes are
sounds
down.
like. But you hear
Good job.
this clicking sound that is not entirely random the more you listen to it.
Like a Morse code kind of a sound?
Almost like a coded type sound.
Where's it coming from?
It's
I'd like to
coming
do it.
from up in front of you, and then you hear it answered behind you,
Oh.
and then it's off to the side of you. What do you do?
But we don't see what's making the sound yet.
You don't see anything. You just hear these sounds like stones clicking together.
I moved my wallet to my front pocket.
Is there any kind of roll we could do to try to?
Yeah, can I do an Arcana?
On a chain.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Try to decipher.
It sounds like rocks clicking together.
Can we
That's just
triangulate
my
where
thoughts.
one of them's coming from? To
Would
go
EB
investigate?
would EB know if it's like a thieves' cant type thing?
Good call.
Yeah. That's really good.
Pretty sneaky, Valor. Let me see.
Not even sure EB would have thought
It is. EB can
He
tell
says
that
it's
there's
these
a definite.
and then he shoots them.
EB knows that there can tell there's a pattern, a definite pattern to it. It sounds like communication, but it's not a code that he knows.
It could be those
I am-
Briagan B art.
I am fluent in 7 million forms of communication.
James, man, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
over
you're
here.
all robot, dude.
We could hear. I could hear that you were speaking, but I have no idea what you said.
Hey. Hey, John, is the Council of Spiders or whatever, is that part of your thief stuff, like Muslim stuff, or is this more
Criminal.
just theirs?
I don't think
that-
I don't think the same
Okay.
way with my harbors. This is a covert operation of the Drow that Vizarin is in cahoots with, and I guess used to.
What were you trying to say? I mean, James.
helps.
James, are you back?
What were you trying to say, James?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, James, you're gonna have to work on your mic somehow, some kind
Sounds
of
really not
way
going
with
well.
your just.
You can type it in the chat box until you get it fixed if you want.
How's this?
Oh, there
So
we
much
go.
better.
That's
Right.
better.
That's perfect.
What were you gonna say?
Daiki was going to try to use detect thoughts to find
Oh.
That's
who
good.
is.
What is the range on your detect thoughts?
30 feet.
And you can
30
move that around too,
feet.
onto different people.
So do you have to target a specific individual? What?
So it says you can use this spell to detect the presence of thinking
Oh, you're still got that.
can't see.
This
That's
when you cast
excellent,
spell, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see.
I think you're looking at the spell. I think he's looking at the feet.
Oh, okay.
I think the feet is different. I'm
So
not
which one
100%
is
sure,
this?
though.
Is this the feet or is this the spell?
He has the feet.
Okay.
wears the feat of telepathy, and it allows him to detect thoughts, but it also has something in the feat. But I don't know. What he was saying was different from what you were saying, so I don't know.
I was looking at the sheet that
Yeah,
said
it's-
detect thoughts on actions. Let's see if we can find it.
What were you saying again, James? Can you
Here.
reread it again?
Yeah, so let me find it again. You can use this spell, also use this spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see.
Okay.
When you cast the spell as your action during the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. The spell can penetrate barriers.
Awesome.
2 feet of rock or nothing, or a thin
Close.
a block.
Your Discord
Each
is acting up again.
lower.
Yeah, this does not.
All right.
You kind of cut out there
that
the last little bit of that.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to detect thoughts.
Yeah.
You detect the thoughts of your party members that are all around you, and any other people that you just see randomly walking by, but you don't see. They're not. They aren't apparently within range of your 30 feet.
How long does detect thoughts last, James?
It's a concentration up to 1 minute.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep searching for that minute as we walk.
Yeah, keep those feelers out. Awesome.
That's a long time.
As we keep walking, Torment is going to cast Prestidigitation and kind of mimic the sounds of the rocks. Try to like
Ooh, very cool.
throw off their,
Okay. Okay.
but not mimic it like completely. Like if I hear 2 clicks, I'll do 3. If I hear 1, I'll do 2 or something like that. Just to
Okay.
kind of cause chaos.
As you get to an area where the street narrows a little bit and some of the hanging street lights that have lit the other areas up much better, it's a little bit darker in here. Daiki, you get the sense of other folks around you. There are some up to the front, up ahead of you, and some are closing in from behind you. And as you round one more corner, you see several drow, including a very attractive young female drow who steps out with her hand on a hilt of a scimitar. And on her shoulder is what appears to be a wee small demon of some sort, whispering in her ear.
So Daiki will focus her spell on the drow, the female drow, and try to detect the surface thoughts. So not a probe, so she won't know I'm doing it.
Yeah, she won't know.
Just the surface thoughts.
Okay. Is there a save or anything like that?
Only if I probe.
On the
Yeah.
probe,
Only if you probe.
yeah.
So what you gather basically is you kind of catch the thought, where are the rest of them? Get into position. Why aren't they in position?
They know.
This lot looks like they're right for the play. That's the kind of thing
Trying to
you
rob us.
in her head.
Yeah, they sound like they're just trying to rob us. They're not
And-
really trying to. They're not wise to what we're about.
She waits
They're
for
about,
just
they're
a
about to
second,
get their ass kicked.
and I need a perception check again from some folks. Well, actually, you know what? You don't. No, I don't need them. You start seeing coming out of the shadows, and they're basically coming in from all directions. Multiple groups of 3 or 4 drow. They look a little rough. They don't look like they've been they're not coming. These aren't wealthy drow. These are looking a little rough. They're coming in from rooftops. They're popping out from behind stones, and as you look around, you realize that you are surrounded by around 30 to 35 or so drow, and we'll describe them as bandits.
I'm gonna step up and
Viln says, "That's the female with the scimitar. Stop right there."
So I'm guessing that we're all together since some people are slaves, so at least they'll be shackled together. We should all
I
at
don't
least
think
be
we're
close
shackled.
enough to close enough together to where we can hold on to each other. Because what I'm thinking is if everybody holds on together and we at least know somewhat of an outline of the road, we can at least feel out of this darkness, because I can drop darkness if we really need to. At least help us get through.
we'll definitely keep that at the ready. I'm gonna I don't know if you want me to do an intimidation check or persuasion check, but I'm gonna basically act like Queen Bee Drow, who's 3 stations above these motherfuckers, and be like, who are you?
Yep.
Before you
Go
do
ahead.
that real quick, can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
Besides the bandits, obviously they're feeling brave enough to do this and rob us. So I'm assuming that there's no one else around besides us and the bandits. Is that correct or not correct?
Not where you see at the moment. You've been passing other people. It's not like it's like a super crowded, busy area, but you have passed other drow going about their business.
But
No
while
city
they're
guard or
confronting
anything
us,
like that?
when they're confronting us right now, though, is it just them and us, or is there a lot of people around us?
You basically
Are they
see
doing this out in plain sight?
It's not. I mean, it's more or less plain sight, but it's kind of like you've been kind of sticking more to the back ways and not the main streets, and this is a little darker area, so it's almost
Go for it, Wham.
Yeah, I want to play the Queen Bee. What's the meaning of this? I'm 3 levels above these people. Who the fuck do you think you are, shaking me down? This is me and this is my entourage, and who the fuck do you think you are? You're gonna pay for this.
Make this bitch piss her pants.
She says, "This is Bandersnatch territory. We don't want any trouble. Just need 100 gold and everybody can go on about their business. You're quite surrounded. Don't do anything foolish."
I'll message to Wham. That's a pittance. We can do that easily.
But don't
So
tell her
does
we have
Daiki detect any fearful thoughts, anything like that?
It does not seem
to the
the
surface.
least bit. Is not the least bit afraid of any of you folk. Like, you just look like a couple wizards and a drow noble female. They're not too concerned.
This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go. This is my kind of scum. I'm gonna pull out 150 gold pieces and hold it out in front of her and show it to her, and say, "I'm gonna give you this. And when I need you to do a job for me, I want you to do it. And we'll negotiate the terms of that contract when the time comes."
Give me a persuasion check.
Nice, dog.
I have a bottle cap I can
You want
give
it in
to
the?
you.
Do you want it in the tower or out in the
You can
open?
do it in the open. Let's persuade out in the
If
open.
you're lucky. Well, if he fails, he can
26.
Don't make
Dude,
matter
that was
with
so badass.
proficiency.
That was so badass, John.
So
That
she
was killer.
looks around at her
That was
gang.
That was sick.
Right. You got yourself a deal. How will you find me?
I'll find you. What's your name?
Viln Tyrann, leader of the Bandersnatch gang.
How do you spell that? B-I-L-N.
VILNTIRIN. And you can give yourself a bottle cap.
Yeah, that was cool. That was so cool, John.
That was sick.
You know what the worst
Shit,
thing,
you
the
gotta know when
funniest
you're
thing is?
bar.
Funniest thing is he rolled a 10, he got a 26.
I'm
The 16 is crazy.
Yeah, I've been investing in persuasion for fucking 13 levels, and I've used it 3 times. So
It
yeah.
paid off, man. That was badass, dude.
We can always say we can leave
Badass.
word for her at the bar or whatever it is.
It was dope.
So Villain Tyrion is now on retainer.
That's right.
Well done.
At least we need a gang of drow for anything.
I did
God,
not.
I don't need him for
I did
something.
not expect that.
Nobody
Well
expects
done.
that.
So there's not much
Nobody
that a gang of
expects
drow
Spanish
won't do for the right price. So it's a pretty good thing to have on retainer.
Reminds me of Tacoma Casca in the first Law series. Just to the highest price, man. 1,000 swords.
So you toss the bag of gold. She says, "And who are you?" So I know who's calling.
Yeah, I've got a name. I mean, we would have, me and Alston would have sorted this out beforehand. We didn't really talk about it, but I would
Let's
be
hear it.
all prepared.
Tell me, what's the name?
It's Janet, but it's Jackson if you're nasty.
Janet Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. All right. She kind of raises an eyebrow and
Janet
looks at you
and
quizzically.
So awesome. So freaking awesome.
All right. I'm writing this down. Miss Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. All right. So,
There's an apostrophe in there. It's like MS apostrophe nasty. With an
Miss
I.
Nasty.
Ms. Nasty.
Janet, Miss Nasty.
My ZZ. Ms.
Yeah.
Nasty.
That's right. Like Mrs. Old Lady.
MY.
That's right. Love Mrs. Old Lady. All right, so yeah, well done. They disappear off into the darkness, and
Probably the best persuasion check I've ever seen. I mean, that was
Alstel kind of breathes out a sigh of relief, and you continue on
Kind of running the mill for me.
your way. And you gradually make your way, past this second rift that you've seen, and out of this rift, it's a long, deep gorge, and just continually there's rolling clouds of steam billowing up from the bottom of this rift and out into Menzoberranzan. And you make your way into the Bazaar district, and this is it's about a 750,000 foot wide circle of bare bedrock. There's crowdy with an untidy labyrinth of stalls, and you see that many of them have just been obliterated, and they're still lying in ruin. After these demons came out however many months ago, they still just have not completely recovered. And you notice that Alstel again kind of stops and is taken aback that the Bazaar of all places, the Bazaar of Menzoberranzan, is not yet fully recovered from the demonic incursion.
I'm gonna speak to him and say, what do you make of all this disrepair and damage throughout the city and in the bazaar, and see if he has anything to say.
I knew it would have been bad when the demons arose. I did not expect this. That they have not yet recovered is astonishing. And he's just really thrown by it.
All right.
I wonder why.
Well, I don't know.
Just
idea.
All right, so you continue making your way through the area, and you see that a lot of Drow commoners are going about quietly about their
What's for
business.
sale on the bazaar, Jared?
It's very little. There's not very many stalls that are open, but you see lots of food. You see, common items. Nothing of any excitement. It's all the what you would consider to probably be just the necessities. Not what you would expect to see in the bazaar of a city like Menzoberranzan.
Orly's not here.
You don't see Orly. Not here.
I'm looking for
Might be
him
somewhere
all
else.
the time.
Could be somewhere else in the city.
Who's Orly
Yeah.
again?
The shopkeeper that shows up everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jared does a great Orly.
That's right.
That's too bad he's not here.
You know of. So, as you continue on through, you do see here a lot of drow patrols mounted on riding lizards. And a couple times they look at you all kind of curiously. They seem to see little more than drow noble, woman, some wizards, and some slaves and servants. And they allow you to go on your way.
I am projecting confidence.
Projecting confidence, as only Wham Size can do.
And I'm doing my utmost to quell any sort of my innate awesomeness. Just trying to humble myself as much as possible.
That's gotta be hard, CJ.
Yeah, man, that's the hardest.
You get into this next area of the city known as Dothcloim. And you know that this in Drow means many folk. And here you start to see lots of small inns, tap rooms, some pleasure houses.
Yeah.
Here you see
Mommy, could I have a whore?
you see a lot
After you kill a
of
surface.
Perfect. You do see a lot of buildings that have been damaged, but much more repair has gone on here than has gone on in the bazaar. And the patrons of this area seem to be a little more well-to-do.
But it's mostly halfling proprietors, looks like.
No, these are all drow.
I
You
think
don't see
all
any
one
non-drow
place.
here.
When you said many folk, that's not drow. I mean, that's not halflings, that's...
No, many, M-A-N-Y, not many. As in small. M-A-N-Y, as in lots of folk.
Okay. Gotcha.
Lots of people. Lots of drow.
Lots of drow.
The amount, not the kind.
Yep. But yeah, this seems to be like, this is the, this is like, shit, I can't remember the name of it. What's in Atlanta, the
Coca-Cola.
no, the area with all the swanky bars, high-end bars and
Buckhead?
everything. What's that? Buckhead. This is the Buckhead of Menzoberranzan. Thank you.
Well, then why did you said it meant bucket? Alright. Is there a, there's no boomers here, is there?
No boomers? I don't see boomers.
Yeah. That's where me and, Brent and Pat and, Pete and,
Yep.
John W. went. It wasn't as upscale as you might know.
Give me some perception checks again, please. You do see some pleasure houses that there might be anything going on in.
Very perceptive.
Zilchin. Okay, Chance and Zilchin and Shin all see that since you came into Deathcloyne, you've noticed that there is a drow that is tailing you. He just looks, it's a drow male. He doesn't look particularly, menacing or anything like that. He's just simply tailing you. Zilchin, hop down into DM chat, please.
Gotcha.
Hey, Jared,
Yep.
do you want us to drop down so that people watching can hear it?
Yes, that's fine. Yes, you guys, everybody drop down to DM chat except for Zilchin.
So maybe he's with the spider group.
Maybe. I'm gonna go get a beer, so if we go back up.
You'll
Oh,
notice
boy,
when
yeah.
you come back and we're not here.
Alright, so I'll be right back.
He's gonna duck into a pleasure house for his first tour.
I got a new spell I really want to use, but I don't know that it's technically will be effective for a good, for me fighting. But it's compelled duel, so if we're fighting people, I can compel a creature to duel only me, and they'll get disadvantage on attacks on everybody else.
Yeah. That's a cool
But
one.
I don't know if that's better or, my haste or those kind of things, It's like, probably not as good as that, but maybe if somebody's getting messed up really bad, or if I see a demon, I might do it.
Come in.
Well, if you have him compelled, then you can pull him right into flame.
Christ compels you.
Well, it's just compelling the duel. They have to fight me. I can't move them where I want them usually.
So if you walk somewhere else, they won't follow you?
Well, if I walk someplace within 30 feet, they'll have to come. They have to do another wisdom save if they go more than 30 feet away from me.
What spell is this?
Compelled duel.
You sound like you got a cold, dude.
Yeah, I went up.
Allergies?
Either around a niece that was drooling or my allergies. I think it's just allergies.
Alright, you can come back.
That was our version of the Matt Mercer whisper. All right. So a couple of you. So EB, thank you. EB's joining us. EB, your absence probably has saved the party. 'Cause you
Exactly.
did
I was
not-
gonna say it's all over now.
Twice.
We're fucked.
You did not fight anyone when the opportunities were certainly there.
He's been shaking hands and smiling at people. And
Yeah, I think you've kissed like 3 babies.
I would have kissed everybody. Ass.
So yeah, so Chance and Zilchin and Shin all have noticed this drow male following them from a distance, not doing anything but just following.
I'm gonna go over to Chance again and see if you can't run the matriarchy route again.
Do we want to do that detective surface thoughts again? Did she do that
You
again?
can only do it once per day.
Okay.
Do we want to put one of our resources on their tail to tail the tail? We've
I
got,
can do that easily because of my shadow step, so.
I think you or EB would be the best suited, or Torment.
I'll drop back and kill him.
we're pretty sneaky.
I'll let one of those two do it. I mean, I could just get behind him without him even knowing.
So I'm just gonna go whisper up on EB and say, we have a tail, and then kind of describe him and say, he's behind the, the shoe store over there, or whatever.
Don't kill him.
He's been tailing us for a couple minutes. Can you keep an eye on him
Kill
without
him.
drawing attention to yourself and
He could be a contact.
doing anything rash?
Yeah,
He
wouldn't-
might be an ally. Don't
Try
do anything
to
rash.
keep him alive if you could.
EB is just gonna look at you straight in the eyes and just give you a thumbs up. He's not even gonna say anything. He's just gonna, like the most blank expression ever, just thumbs up.
You,
Oh,
that
no.
dead eye. Hold that one thumb up in front of that dead eye. I'm envisioning Randall Tex Cobb from Raising Arizona, and that's what I'm envisioning. That's what I'm envisioning EB looking like, with the big dead eye. Leonard Smalls.
Leonard
Smalls.
Oh, jeez.
Friends call me
Okay.
Lenny, but I got no friends.
That's right.
Killing me, Smith.
God, I love that movie.
I love it when he pulls the pin out and he's on the ground and he sees the pin and goes, sorry.
That should be a movie night movie.
I love it when he
Sorry.
fucking catches that fly in
yeah.
Arizona's office.
Nathan Arizona's office.
Nathan
You
Arizona.
got flies.
He's the total best. What do you think he's wearing?
Nobody
He's wearing his
sleeps
damn
naked in this
jammies.
house.
I don't know. Yoda's and shit.
Got Yodas and shit on him.
I've never seen Racing Arizona.
Oh my
Oh my god!
Dude,
I failed you. Oh,
what the fuck is wrong with you,
goodness.
man?
Joe
Good one,
Bob.
Jared.
I will take that as that is on me.
That is sad, man.
Okay,
Okay,
better fix
you
this.
and,
Sad.
you and Cam are coming over this weekend, and we're watching Raising Arizona.
I mean, I just want to add, do you know how many times I've seen Smokey and the Bandit?
That's a mark
That's
in
a
your
good
in
thing.
your in your corner. That's a
You're
positive.
fine with that.
You have just equaled yourself out.
There's no other movie, in my opinion. I mean, it's Smokey and the Bandit or bust.
You
You
have
and
not
Clint
yet
would get
seen-
along real well.
You have not seen Raising Arizona. All right,
Raising
back here.
Arizona.
Well, if you're talking Smokey the Bandit, you gotta throw Cannonball Run in there too, though.
Oh,
And a sequel.
I would
I
say
don't know about that.
Mhm.
you throw Tom DeLuise in.
Gaylord.
My second favorite actor ever.
When he's smacking Dom DeLuise, there's nothing funnier than that shit. There's nothing funnier than him smacking Dom
The
DeLuise.
only thing funnier than him smacking him in the movie is him smacking him in the bloopers at the end.
Oh, that's the funniest of all.
those bloopers are so great. God,
Sammy Davis.
Did they not have a human resources department on that movie?
this whole episode's about to devolve into something.
No
kind of-
human resources can stop Burt Reynolds from slapping Dom
I
DeLuise.
think Burt Reynolds was the human resource.
All right, so EB, what are you gonna do?
Now I'll go ahead and roll my stealth check here and see if I can slip back behind this guy.
Okay.
He's just going to take and kindly just nonchalantly slip into the crowd. Like, no offense, but where the hell we at?
Okay, here, I'll be sharing this map with you again,
Death Claw.
so you can see where we are. And we don't have a battle map at the moment, so it's just this map.
Oh,
right here,
good.
just putting that to the background. And you're down in Duthcloyne, which is almost right in the middle of the map.
Old Master Shin almost went EV on a drow bitch though earlier, so
With a talking
All
guy.
right, so you're gonna slip away. Let's see if this
need to do a
dude's
stealth.
killer perception. Yep, roll a stealth.
Dum, dum, dum.
It's a big roll.
It's gotta be huge.
Big roll.
Dum, dum,
Oh,
dum.
31.
bigger roll. All right. So you kind of duck back in between buildings as the rest of your party moves on and continues making their way towards Eastmere. And you eventually see this drow wandering by, continuing to tail your group. He's not getting any closer to them, he's just watching.
He'll just tell him for a little bit. Just
Okay. All right.
I watch him as the group advances to see before he takes any type of move.
Okay.
Hey James, what's your Discord name?
E. Gandalf.
I'm gonna send you a.
What's the E stand for?
So as you continue walking along, EB's tailing the tail. The tail's not getting any closer. You see up in the up ahead of you what appears to be a priestess of Loth, and she's accompanied by numerous guards, numerous elite guards. I don't know, there's probably 24 in all. And she is looking at areas that have been damaged and have not yet been repaired, or where repairs are in process. And she's just, like I said, they've got like a little secretary with her who's making notes of things as they wander around and check. So she is
Up until this point, Torment has been able to kind of like steel himself about being in Menzoberranzan and being around around the drow. He's never really liked the drow from his past.
Tough for you, yeah.
But seeing this priestess of Lolth, after all he went through with being tricked by Lolth, he becomes, I guess I would have to say that he becomes visibly upset and
agitated.
Maybe, but he's trying really hard, so hard that he just completely turns away from her and walks in the opposite direction.
Okay, so you're leaving the party?
Not too far, just like walking over to the side of the street and stopping like I'm looking in a store window or something.
All right. You see
Splitting
some
the
very
party,
nice
always a shrewd move.
You see some very nice candlesticks. Make a great wedding gift.
Is she directly like in our path? Like we're gonna have to pass her, or we're gonna have to?
You will either have to pass her or turn down another street.
I would elect to turn down another street. I think we have no desire to cross paths with her.
Okay.
Agree.
All right. Let me check.
Not one for the matriarchy here either. Priestess in there. Absolute rule.
Shin will return the favor to Torment and message him telepathically, tell him.
You notice
Stay
just
calm,
as
brother. You helped me. I shall try to help you.
just as you are about to turn down another lane, you notice that she looks up and looks in your direction. And she has a bit of a quizzical look on her face, but then she gets distracted by her secretary who's asking her a question about something you can't hear, but she goes back about her work. But she definitely noticed you all. But she let it go.
All right.
And let's see, do we have any more? You do notice one other spot along the way, and this is surprising. And this also catches Alstel clearly by surprise, as there's a statue that has been broken, a pretty good sized statue. It was probably 9 or 10 feet tall when it was erect. But it has been broken and pieces are scattered on a side street. You're not really in the main way. As you look at it closer, you do see that this, well, Zilchin and probably Torment at least would recognize that this is Drow in her, or it's Loth in her Drow form, and it is broken and remains broken and scattered about. And and
Curious.
Alstel is just like, what the fuck is going on? This is highly unusual.
Yeah, because that's punishable by death, basically.
Who's around in this area? Are we alone?
Just-
Are there?
There are just the regular people that are going in and out of bars and stores and stuff like that. It's not super crowded, but there are some people around.
Yeah, you'd think that would be one of the first things they would repair. Besides that.
I would ask Zilchin if he is willing to inquire to one of the shopkeepers what happened to this statue
And why is it repaired?
and why is it in this state of disrepair.
So I'll go to one of the nearest shops that have, like, any of them that have a window facing out towards it. I'll just walk up and casually approach the person behind the bar or whatever it's, and ask them, unusual that the statue of Loth is broken and not one of the first things repaired. Do you know what happened to it by chance?
So your bartender looks out behind you, being presumably the owner of this establishment, and says to you in Drow, "Where the hell have you been? To not know what's going on in the city."
I've been a bit preoccupied with my gathering up slaves, and I'll kind of motion back outside to everybody standing outside kind of sullenly and looking down at the ground. I've been trying to gather some coin and come back. I guess I've missed some things.
I'll say you have. Army of demons came out of the Claw Rift a couple months back. Laid waste to half the city. We were all instructed not to touch any of the monuments to Loth. The priestess would get to that, but they haven't made it here yet. There's been too much damage, too much repairs. They'll make their way around, though. I'm sure it's not going to touch it. I won't have the demon Loth. I won't have the demon queen coming to me in the middle of the night and taking me to the abyss with her.
So did the repairs start right here in Duskcloyne first, or was there a specific area that was worse than the others?
Start here first. Started with all the noble districts first. They'll get around to us sooner or later.
Of course. Always the upper class to get the first.
At least we're not the bazaar of the West Wall. Who knows when they'll get fixed.
Well, I thank you for your time. Your name again?
Jazamule.
Just shake his hand and
Oh my god.
just give him a little false drow name, but Kringos. I don't know.
Kringos?
Just be like, thank you for your time. I didn't mean to bother you, and then walk outside and let them know that the demons have went after everything, and the repairs haven't made their way here, but they've of course started in the higher districts and the
That shopkeeper, he looked familiar. What did he say his name was?
Wham's over there writing the Ballad of Jazmil and Cream Ghost.
That's right.
Jazmil.
I love that.
Rhymes
Was the,
with jazz.
I love the Cream Ghost was the first thing that popped up when I looked up name generator. It was the first thing. I love it.
I think that
So-
should be your alias while we're here. Fingers.
Yep.
So
let's do it.
this, where I've drawn this circle, this is the Claw Rift. This is where the demons, apparently,
Emerged.
a lot of them came out of this rift. They also came out of the other rifts. You kind of would be able to gather that as you wander around and talk. But the Claw Rift is the main area.
Okay, hold on one second. We just had a raid of 3 more people. Poor Ted, thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate it. We are playing D&D tonight, so I hope that doesn't bore you too much. But you all are welcome to sit and watch. I appreciate it.
Of course, it won't bore them. We're fantastic.
We're the best D&Ders ever.
Or you. We have a drow.
We have plenty of drow.
All right, so you do know that the EB is still tailing the tailor. He's just watching. And you continue.
While he's watching?
Nope, he's just watching.
A little bit. You're talking about the Watcher or EB?
I'm talking about EV.
Oh, EB. Well, I don't know what EB is.
He's
A
just
long trench coat, nothing underneath it.
well,
Exposing himself.
I'm not even going to go into detail.
I think that's good.
So you continue on, and eventually the guy that's following, the drow that's been following you, ducks down a little alley and is clearly no longer interested in following the party. EB, what do you do?
First of all, let's use his correct name. His name is Black Erron.
I'm sorry, BE, what do you do?
I mean, is there any way before
Questioning, man.
before he ducks down the alley if EB can be like accidentally like bump into him, be like, oh, I'm sorry about that, friend? Is there anything?
Well, I mean, you were following him, I assume, at a safe distance, correct?
But plus, he was following us, so he knows.
And then
that
he was
we're-
following you, so he's like, yeah. So
But he wouldn't have really noticed EB because he was focusing on us, so you think.
yeah, I mean,
Well, when
he may not know where EB is, but he may not know where BE is, but he knows that BE is not with him anymore. BE, they bring good things to life.
I mean, if he ducks down an alley, you know,
I would
EB
question him, man.
only one to like, oh hey, I saw you looking at us from a distance. Anything I can help you with? Pal?
So you do confront him as he ducks down, as he starts.
But you'd also do like Batman type thing and hide in the shadows and ask him questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I-
swear to me.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do it where anybody. I'm going to wait till we get into an alley a little bit of the ways to where we're out of eyesight.
Okay, I want you to give me another stealth check, please.
Oh, you got it.
What a shitty roll.
And I need you also to give me a perception check.
Well, this one's not going to be near as good.
It's leading you into a trap.
So you see him duck behind or duck down into this alley. He's not even trying to be, I wouldn't even say ducking down into this alley, because he's not trying to hide it. He just quits following the group. And, kind of out right as you're on the edge, you can see that you're getting into a little quieter district here of Eastmere. And he just goes in the other direction. And as you follow him into this side street, you turn around where you saw him turn, or turn into the street you saw him turn onto, and you do not see him.
Oof.
Flying pool.
Greater invisibility or something.
Do a survival check for footprints.
So I was getting ready to look over there too.
Okay.
Dum, dum, dum.
Footprints on this stone street.
That's right. Scuff marks.
There's
Hey, it's
enough.
got rubble and dust, yeah.
Yeah.
You see that
Pretty good roll.
you see a door a couple buildings down that is closing just as you turn onto the street.
Kick that motherfucker
Quick,
in.
chase him,
man.
EB. Or beat E.
How far would I say that I'm from the rest of the group? I mean,
He was about, he was 100 feet behind him, probably.
so it's
So-
far enough to where I couldn't like send spores, like a spore talking to anyone's head, correct?
I don't believe your spores go that far. Is that right?
Trash. I don't really know, I'll be honest.
Feet, probably.
I think it's 30 feet.
God damn it, we gotta play this as straight EB. It's not the best question, but EB's going to, he's going to take it stealthily nose in there to see what's going on. He can't help it. It's terrible, but he's got
The
to
guy
do
was
it.
following us, man. I mean, I don't blame you. I really don't. I probably would do the same.
All right. So you follow him and to this
I would
little
like to, I
door.
would like to go to the door
Okay.
and listen first.
All right.
Just
The
to-
perception check, please.
Are you gonna like let us know what's going on or anything?
That's
Or-
what I can.
Yeah, you guys are still walking away. I mean, you guys are still
Right.
walking towards Eastmere.
What's that? Yeah, now would be when I'm basically
can't
talking
score.
to the shopkeeper.
Before he goes, well, he will kind of pop out of the alleyway. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pop out of the alleyway, just get into range, give them some type of heads up, because I don't have any other way of letting them know. And I'll say I'll try to just hear the closest person to me. It don't matter who it is.
Is he going to yell? Because
No.
they're 100 feet away.
I'm gonna say I want to go up as quick as far as I can to where I can at least like in line. It don't matter who it is.
You do have cunning action, so you can double move as a bonus action too, or
Yeah,
triple
but he's
move.
going-
You can triple move.
Okay, so you're taking note of the door he went in, and then you're going to go run to the group.
Not to the group, just enough where hey, I can and message the nearest person to me at our follower has went into a room and we need to check it out, or I'll need to check it out.
Okay.
And
So,
go back on me.
All right. So I don't know who's at the back of the pack, but so you're 30 feet away from your team, from the party. You send that message, they get it, and then you go running back.
Yes, and he would like
Okay.
to go to the door and go ahead and do a perception check as the rest of the group doubles back.
Rest of the group, are you going back
Yeah,
with
they
him,
go
or are you
back.
stopping? What are you doing? Rest of the group.
We ignore him and keep going.
Here's what I would say. We go back to where the alley is, and we just stay in the streets. But I wouldn't want to go all of us to the door.
Is this the close? Is this still
Let's
close
just
to where
hang
that
out
one
while
lady was
Zilch's
eyeballing?
talking to the shopkeeper.
No, no.
Exactly. Just kind of stay in the area where we're close, where we can, help him if he needs it. And, somebody needs to monitor, like, him going.
Somebody's
to the
gotta-
door. Shin can do that.
I
'cause
can
he's-
watch EB's. EB's
You can
back.
do that. You can do that. Stay far enough away, but you just watch what's the door at least. Watch him go in.
EB,
And then listen at it maybe while he's in there.
you don't really hear anything. Between the noise in the street and what's apparently a fairly sturdy door, you don't hear anything.
So do I see Ziltron right now? I was just gonna message the Zilchin and say, try to see if you can talk him out of being so foolish. This guy was tailing us. He might be a good tail, and he might have led him into a trap. If he gets too deep behind enemy lines.
Okay.
It's gonna keep. I'm gonna kind of narrow my eyes a bit and keep watching EB to make sure he doesn't do anything too much, and let him know that he's probably one of many tales that we've had. Just this one might not have been as good as the others.
I'm jeopardizing the mission. I shouldn't have come.
Nice.
So you don't really hear anything. It's there's street noise, and then whatever's happening in there is probably relatively quiet. And you didn't roll that great. So what do you want to do?
This is a city of plentiful death and death sentences. There's not much time to squander before we need to put this dark
He
heart.
has no perception what's on the other side of this door.
No,
Yeah, they rolled 11, so
we just need to get off the street as quick as we can because we're vulnerable out here.
We've already had a couple of people give us kind of sideways glances.
Yeah.
So does your bow of warning give you the advantage on your perception check?
My,
Just can't be
I don't know
surprised.
why I have advantage on everything right now. I'll be honest.
I think it's your
No,
bow
maybe it
of
does.
warning. I think
Yeah,
it's
it
your bow of
does.
warning.
Yeah, this is advantage
What do you mean?
intellect.
He's got advantage on initiative on both.
Oh, initiative. Yeah.
Yes. I say I don't know why I have advantage on everything. I'm not complaining. I figured somebody casted something on me.
No, I thought it was your bow. I thought the bow of warning gave
It
you.
might be.
No,
I thought it did.
you'd not be surprised by bow. I believe that's how that
It
works.
says favorite enemy advantage skill survival.
Favorite enemy.
Favoriete.
It's not important. I just saw it.
I don't know.
Yeah. I
Alright.
just-
So, BE, are you going through this door or not?
Oh, he is.
Did you have to word it like that?
I think
He
it's
is
amazing.
concerned.
Yeah, it's very cool.
He's not. BE is not so concerned, but Bob is. He really wants to get in there. And you know what? I gotta play this in true EB fashion. He's got to poke his head in.
Well, you can't.
He's got to do it.
But even in true EV fashion, if people are trying to talk you out of it, you just won't listen.
That sounds like EB to me.
Yeah.
That's the EB we know and love.
Yes.
That's the EB we know and love.
I think
Well,
the
I just
BE that
figured
we
I
know
could
and love would
probably-
also feel like he's so
Some
stealthy, he can do this with impunity.
Yeah, I do. think
That is
he's
what
Well,
I'm saying. He thinks he's too
overconfident.
damn good.
Yeah, he's in a city of equally adept.
Torment
he
is-
has any-
Torment is
A
gonna
normal
kind of
person would
go towards him.
agree with what you're saying. This
Yeah,
CB
yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think he's playing it right. All right.
I love it.
give me-
I love it. Man,
I mean,
it's
we sent him to
it's
trail
scary,
trail.
but
I don't
it's,
know why he would stop because he went through a door.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
BE's my spore buddy, so I'm gonna kind of head back towards him.
Yeah, I think you would do that too.
And he'll
Okay.
he'll kind of nonchalant, like I open the door real soft, like real quiet.
So stealthily opening, you're gonna open it all the way. You're just gonna peek. What do you do?
Throw it open.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Good tactic.
Hold on a second. Before you do that,
Do it.
Master Shen is going to appear right beside you and say, "Would you like me to tell you what is inside the room?"
Oh, I thought you were going to do pass without trace.
No.
Well, he is going to look at you like, motherfucker, where have you been?
I said, "Would you like me to tell you what's on the other side of this door?"
Well, yeah, and of course he's going to be like, sure. 'Cause, I mean, he's all
Alright.
about just going for the kill.
All right, Master Shen. Well, he appears right beside him with the shadow step, and then he turns to the door and just stares at the door.
Okay.
And then he can see. He's going to cast clairvoyance, and he can see what's on the other side of the door. And I'm going to knock off a 3rd level slot right now.
All right. So basically, you see what appears to be the back room or like the kitchen room of a bar or an inn, and there are servants in there preparing food.
Do we see the tail? Because I saw him too. I rolled on mine. You
You
said
do
three
not
before.
see the tail.
Do they all look preoccupied? Like, how far away is the door from all the servants?
10 feet. It's just a kitchen.
All right, so Master
So-
Shin will tell him. It appears to be a kitchen from a bar or a restaurant. If you open this door, you will alert them to your presence. They are 10 feet away,
How many?
but we do not see
How many?
our tailor. Our tailor is nowhere to be seen. How many, Jared?
Half a dozen people in there cooking away, slopping food. You got a fry cook. You've got
6.
Somebody on fries?
And also, then I will switch from seeing to what I see to hearing what they say.
There's a very portly individual on fries.
Do do I hear anyone talk about the assailant that just came through there, or the not assailant, but the tail that came through there?
Nope, they're talking about prepping for the dinner rush.
This is Men's Donald's.
Not Men's Donald.
It's Men's Dowels.
Men's McDonald.
Ms. Dow's.
McDrow.
You tell EB all this.
Yeah, I'm telling EB that they're not even they don't appear. They're just working away. They don't appear like anyone just came through. They're not talking about whoever came, or
They may not even know, honestly.
So what, you said
Yeah,
this
but you
was
would
the
say-
back
yeah,
door
well,
to this
Shin,
establishment?
Shin, give me an insight check.
All right. Hold on just a second. Insight. Oh, I was gonna roll that in the tower.
So your interpretation of this is that they either did not see that dude come in and he just slipped in and they missed him, or he pops in and out of the back of that place all the time. Maybe it's
Yeah, they're on the down low.
maybe it's a property of whoever he works for.
So would we assume, or can you tell us if this was the back entrance of an establishment?
It's either back or side entrance. Yeah.
How far away would the front of this establishment be? So we can find out
Around,
what it is.
we have to go like a couple buildings down and then around the corner to the other side.
I was gonna go ahead and say when there was Shin said there was 6 people in there, or EB, you see him just look down at his crossbow in his hand, he just starts counting out 1, 2.
Okay, I see this and I'm starting to shit my pants. So here's what Shin does. Shin casts invisibility.
Okay.
And then he will shadow step on the other side of that door invisibly, because he can do that, because it can shadow step to wherever he can see, and he can see with his clairvoyance. So he's going to invisibly, I'm going to cast that one real quick.
Question.
Yes.
Clairvoyance is concentration.
Yes, so I can't do that.
So as soon so as soon as you cast invisibility, then
Yep,
you would
you're right.
then
You're right.
not be concentrated.
Good
So
call. You. Touche.
Well, he's seen it. He
That's
doesn't
what they
need to. He doesn't need
apologize.
to do clairvoyance anymore.
Yes, I do. I have to see it. It's not like it didn't say place that you. It's not like
Yeah, EB gonna go kill the wait staff.
it's not like what's it called? Dimension
Dimension
door.
door.
I have been there. It's something that I have to.
Okay.
I have to be able to see.
see it
I have
at
to
the time.
see the shadow. Yeah.
what were you saying, Joe Bob? EB?
So I can shadow step
Yeah,
in there
I'm just
still, but I can't be invisible and do it.
Okay. What are you apologizing for?
I'm just going ahead and apologizing because I know this is a terrible idea, but I'm trying to play this as straight to character as possible.
No, don't apologize. Never apologize for playing
just play
straight
it.
to character.
That's all
All right.
I know it's not good planning.
So
Well, I've told him what's in there. It's his decision.
so are you going to go in, Shin, or are you going to hold?
No, I am not going in.
And you're
I was
not
gonna go in
invisible.
invisible. No, I'm not invisible. I didn't cast it. Y'all have one.
I'm literally sitting here shaking shit in my pants.
Yeah, me too. Shen is like,
How close are?
I just wanted to let him know what was in there before, so he wouldn't
I
go.
thought we were a ways away. How close are we?
Well, I thought you guys came back, so that was the.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
We're all in this alley at this point.
No, I
So,
shouted.
he's down with EB. Like I would say, Torment sounded like he was headed in that direction.
Yeah.
I assume that the rest of you were like back at the street and the alley.
Where Zilchin's talking to that dude. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah. Well, even back, no,
Okay.
but Zilchin did that further on down. You all have gone back towards the where you've already
I have to
passed.
stay by way.
Yeah, and two doors down would be the front of this building that dude went into.
I think we've dilly-dallied around too much and he's just gone. That's what I think.
EB, you're just going to hear him, like, after he gets done counting that fourth arrow, he's just going to kind of fiddle with it a little bit, just kind of look at me, then you're just going to see him turn around and look at you all. Just say, anyone care for a drink? And you're going to see his cheeks just kind of come up, like he's just got the biggest smile on underneath his face mask
Oh,
in the
Lord.
world. Like, he is. That's all he's going to say. He's going to say it audibly. It's not going to be sport talk. He's just going to turn around and say, anyone care for a drink?
I mean, you can
So-
go in the front door, or you can
That's
go
what
in
he's
the back.
saying.
Yeah, let's.
Front door. Or
We can always
stay
pretend we're
in the
drunk
front
and
door,
stumble into
look
the
in
kitchen.
back.
Thank you, hon. Shen is saying the assailant is not assailant. I don't know why I keep saying that. The our tail is not in there. There's no reason for you to go back through here.
Yeah. He's either in the front room or he's gone.
Or he's
we're not
not.
gonna find
Yeah.
him.
He's not in the room that you're wanting to go into. He's already gone. But they are making some delicious ratatouille in there. So
Is there a little mouse on the counter?
yeah,
Tell them all how to do
he's pulling his hair.
That's who knows.
Okay, what are we doing? guys?
Shin's trying to stop him. So do I need to roll persuasion or something like that? Or I don't know what to do.
I think our prey is gone, but I mean, EB,
That's
this
what
is your
Shin is trying to
decision.
say.
You are going to have to decide, Joe, what you want to do.
The whole reason I
wanna
burned
go-
the third level slot was to, if he's in there, I'm gonna say go in. If he's not in there, then no. Then
He is not in the kitchen. Is all you know.
And they don't even act like he just came through.
They're
Yeah. I mean, if there was commotion, they're going, oh my god, Dumb Buck just came through here.
Imagine, you've seen the movies where the members of the mob go in the back of the kitchen and the staff just ignores them.
Yeah.
Even if they're dragging a dead body through, they just don't pay any attention to it. So that's basically what is going on here. That dude has gone into that kitchen and wherever he's gone from there, and it's
Master Shin
no
stands
big
in front
deal.
of him. I implore you, Black Erron, do not blow our cover.
That's all it took.
okay.
He just
So you're gonna let it go?
seemed to put his head down. He just
See, hangs his head
shakes
like
it and walked away.
he hangs his head like Charlie Brown on
And he kicks a rock.
on Halloween night. On Halloween night.
He turns around and shoots across the boat right in the door. When he-
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I
Okay.
like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
You took your hand off the piece. It was more than 2 seconds.
That's
It
kind
does
of cool.
yeah, it would be a warning for the guy chasing his powers.
I mean, if we want to play it, we'll play it.
Oh, well, okay,
I say
so-
I say go big. Shoot one of those 3+ arrows into the door.
Yeah.
You're not like soft.
I like how he calls them 3+ arrows instead
Yeah,
of
you-
+3
you-
I
arrows.
love it,
you've got-
3+.
You've got magic, and you're not afraid to waste it.
Leave some
All right,
spores
so
on the door.
I know what he's going to. He will.
And
He will touch
and
the
it
door.
breaks
Yeah,
off
he
when he
will
tries to
touch
pull
the
it out
door.
of the door.
What
I
are you
mean-
saying?
Touch the door. And he's just going to put his hand on the door, and you're just going to
Yep.
see like fungus start growing over the
Yeah,
door
to
on
the
the
spores.
outside, and then the spores
Okay.
kind of grow all over it, and then he's just going to walk away.
All right.
Well, it's going to rot in a day or two.
Love it. Love it. So you make your way, start making your way back in your direction.
That was
you're
cool,
going
though.
in.
I like that whole
Very
scene.
cool.
That was very cool.
And you eventually make your way into Eastmere, And the Eastmere, Alstor will tell you, bridges the gap between the very prosperous Duthcloim and the down and out despair of the Brerin district, which is this is home to merchants and trade folk. And you don't see a ton of damage in this area. Whether it has been dealt with already, or it just got lucky and escaped the damage. And you do see where you have not really seen any non-drow previous to this. You do see some, if they weren't slaves, you do see some non-drow scattered about here and there. Not many, but there are a few. And Alstor says, Narbendel's shadow is just a few blocks away. Quickly. And he leads you on through the streets. And as the lighted ring around Narbendel, as you happen to glance back towards the western edge of the city, that lighted ring is nearing. It's probably 3/4 of the way up, indicating that it is getting to be evening time. And you walk into this cozy-looking inn, which does not show any sign of damage. And you walk in and you see humans, you see some dwarves, you see gnomes,
And they're not
and a few
slaves.
halflings. What's that?
And they're not
Right.
slaves.
Not slaves. These are people. These are patrons.
Eastmere's really woke.
So do they have to sneak in as well like we do, or how's that work?
You don't know. There's not a ton. There's also a fair number of drow in here. Your guess would be that these are likely like traders. People that are bringing stuff in.
They've already been accepted into.
They've been accepted.
Gotcha.
They've probably been developing relationships for a long time, and they've been traveling here and selling wares from the surface for many ages. And this is the one place in the city that they can, stay the night before they head back to the surface world.
Without being accosted by
Exactly.
people. Yeah,
Exactly.
gotcha. Cool.
And you see a jovial-looking halfling carrying a giant pitcher around, filling up steins of beer and being, hello, oh, welcome, hey, I hope you're having a good night, hey, oh, Norm, how you doing? And just, talking to everybody, being super jovial and happy. And he sees you all enter.
His name is Quickly Swift.
His name is
Alfred Noakes.
He walks up to you all, and his face gets much more serious. Where he was jovial and happy. Hey, what brings you to the Narbendel's shadow? You don't look familiar to these parts. And he's just talking to all of you, so whoever wants to answer.
I'll speak up. We seek lodging for the entire party here.
Oh, very good. How many do you have with you?
We'll take care of it. And I point to Alstor.
Alstor's the manservant?
Yeah, he's my manservant.
Okay.
The priest is his manservant. He's gonna handle the arrangements.
Ah, well, very good, very good. Happy to have you here. And you notice as you look at him that he's missing his left ear, and the left side of his face is just scarred, and they're scars that have been there for many, many completely missing his left ear.
They have
He
clerics
feels his
for that.
pain.
What was that, Shin?
Oh, he just says they have clerics for that.
Up.
Joking.
Okay. Yep. And he says, "Well, come. As you know, there are not many places in Menzoberranzan that will take on surfacers. So I'm happy to have you here, but unfortunately the cost ain't cheap. To be 25 gold pieces per person per night."
Oh shit!
Now you'll each get your own room with that. There's no bunking up here. You don't have to all sleep head to toe. You'll be very comfortable, very cozy. That takes all of your food, and we'll give you a nice continental breakfast.
You don't have
How
like
many
a
bolsters?
stable. You have a stable or anything out back?
I was gonna say, what you got? What is the
slaves,
barn
or-
run?
We do have quite a
Barn
few
is for-
slaves, so.
Barn is for animals. And he looks at you.
Well, there's no
Well, we have
much of a
slaves.
difference.
He looks at Valor up and down. He looks at Daiki. He looks at I guess you guys are the only two slaves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he says, you don't have to have to put on them airs here. I know you ain't no slaves. Come along, you can be yourselves here.
Ooh. Might be an insider.
Yeah, we might be able to get some info from this cat.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we
it's
can
what
get,
we're
if we,
supposed to
if we could get in, if we can get into a private room, we can have a more
I'm gonna look over at
open conversation.
Private
Ustaler.
room, would you say? Ah, by all means, come along back. Come. Follow me. Yes. Come along.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a small glance over to Ustaler, whatever his name is, and see how he's reacting to this guy.
He nods and starts following him to the back room.
I mean, this
Nice.
wasn't where we were supposed to go.
I'm gonna file in then.
So as you all go back into this private room that is, there's a big table, there's some sconces on the wall, big table, round table, chairs all around it. Could seat even a few more of you than you have. And there is the door that you enter to come in, and then there's a small back door that almost blends right into the wall. You would guess is access to the kitchen area. And he brings you all in. Yes, come in. He closes the door, and you see him. He latches it, and then kind of whispers a few words, and you see a few hand motions. Now we can talk freely, all you wish. There be no one listening in to this conversation. Oh, well, I did assume you wanted to talk to me too, of course.
Yes. As soon as he does this, my disguised self just vanishes, and I look like me again.
And Master
Alright.
Shin gets in the lotus position and starts to meditate. He's
Okay.
dying too this whole time.
All right.
EB's disguised self will go away, but he looks no different because you can't see his face.
Okay.
I just
He just likes burning. He just likes burning stealth slots.
All right. So everybody kind of comes back to their natural state. See, you have no problem. You be yourself here. No one will bother you. No one will question you. This is the one place in all of Menzoberranzan where you can be yourself.
Why so
Wow.
free?
We appreciate your hospitality and your candor. We would like to stay here for several days. Obviously, we are traveling under false pretense, and we require secrecy.
Can I insight into it before we start
What was
telling everything?
the young lady in the back had a question. What was that? Like,
Why be so free with your guests?
I've made me living here in Menzoberranzan for many, many years. And, well, a lot of surfacers come and go, but they not be very welcome very many places. I've found that I can be welcoming, be free, people can be themselves, as long as they're not causing any problems here in Menzoberranzan. Well, the nobility leave me be. I make a fine living, and well, I do what I can to help out, here and there.
How is it that Eastmere is relatively untouched by the demons?
Well, the crazy thing be that. They came flying out of the rift over there and they just went the other direction. Sheer dumb fucking luck. Now, what be your business here? How can we help you? And Estel speaks up. I have friends in the city. I must make contact with them. All we ask is that you keep my friends, my acquaintances. Keep them here until we have direction for my acquaintances. Ah, that'd be fine. Happy to do that. As he said, I get you a room for each of you, and I'll keep this room just for your meeting and getting together. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Thank you. No.
3 fried chickens and a Coke.
Any weapons for sale?
Oh, that not be me business, my young fella. I am nothing but a simple innkeeper.
Master Shin enters his mind and asks him, is the waffle maker functional?
Aye, it is. We got some of the best damn waffles outside of Blingdenstone.
Have you had a repairman in recently?
I do all my own repairs.
Oh, good. I wouldn't want that guy to.
I bought this waffle maker from a gnomish tinkerer. He called himself Doc. I don't remember his rest of his name. He called himself Doc, and it's the best damn waffles they ever did have.
Exactly. He damn right they are.
So, he sticks his head back in that the door, which I mentioned was the kitchen, and some servants come out. You hear him yelling directions and orders back through there, and all of a sudden there's all kinds of food being brought in, and then there's all sorts of there's a kobold, there's a dwarf, a couple halflings, and you do notice also a human female, young, comes in, and they're all coming in and bringing in trays of food and beverages and all sorts of things, and just setting you up for a big feast. And Dalford leaves you be. And you
I'm
can
guessing
see
we've been having kind of lean cuisine for the last few days. So we're probably,
you guys have had. I mean,
know about this.
Shit's eating the fuck out of some sushi, man.
Yeah, we're crushing this shit.
Yeah, you guys have been eating basic rations and fungus and shit like that for weeks. So yeah, this
Lizaran
is
might
a
have fed us
feast.
something.
He fed you, but nothing like this. He gave you some fried bologna, and this is Thanksgiving turkey.
Is there any tofu here?
There's some tofurkey. Yep, tofurkey for Daiki and the dungeon master.
Excellent.
Veggie corn dogs.
Veggie corn dogs. Oh, Bob and I, we ate the hell out of some veggie corn dogs the other night.
They were good.
Yeah,
Okay, that's just
absolutely.
wrong.
Oh,
That's,
that's good.
that's really
Don't
wrong.
let him warp your mind, Joe Bob.
You
Yeah.
got some good French's mustard. You can eat any kind of corn dog there is.
But a
Amen to
veggie
that.
corn dog, that's sacrilegious right there. I mean,
Hey, they taste like real hot dogs.
I
what's
mean, I'm not
There's
going
no
to
Why not just eat a real hot
already,
dog?
So get off
guys
your
are
hot
fucking assholes.
Well, that's a great thing. You got to have corn dog with no lips and asshole. There's a
So
lips
you
and
have
asshole free
so
corn
it's
dog.
No, I mean you had Jumbo.
Is it a tofu asshole?
It's the asshole of a tofu.
It's
Gotta be some kind of asshole.
it's soy ass.
Soy ass.
Way to sell it.
Now
I'm tempted.
Should be. I got a whole
I
nother.
loves me a piece of soy ass.
So, as you guys settle
Assholes,
down
meat.
for dinner, you settle down in to eat. The servants leave you be. Dalfred goes about his business. Dalfred Noakes goes on about his business, take care of the rest of his patrons and customers. And after you dine, Austal suggests, I believe we should all make an early night of it. I will leave after Narbendel's light dims and go to make my contacts with the Council of Spiders.
In the morning, you said?
Basically after sundown, basically after Narbendel's light dims, he's going to go make contact with his Council of Spiders.
And he's intending to go by himself.
Yep. Yeah, he can maneuver around the city pretty easily. Anything you guys want to discuss
I got
or
a
talk
quick
about?
question,
Ask
and
him.
If you don't know, just say you don't know. What does he look like? Like, how, is he dressed like a wizard apprentice or like?
He's dressed like a
common
wizard.
man?
He's got on wizard robes, and he's dark skin, long white hair. He's older, but he's not like Vizirin old. And in any other situation, he probably wouldn't be he's probably not your typical apprentice. He's pretty stout, but Vizirin is so powerful and so advanced that with Vizirin, anybody's going to be an apprentice. But you would imagine that Austal can probably hold his own quite well.
Master Shen will ask him, when will you return?
I hope to be back before morning.
So it's like when Penn Jillette was on The Apprentice. I mean, he was an apprentice wannabe, but he was still Penn Jillette.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now I understand perfectly.
Anything else to discuss with anyone? Any questions for anybody? Any questions? Want to get Dalford back in for any other questions? Any questions for Austal?
B would like to question the guy about his face. When he asks him, he'll kind of pull down his mask, show where his face has the big scar with all the fungus and everything all in it. Like, it's your story.
He kind of stops for a second, and he's been so jovial and so pleasant.
He's not going to ask him out loud. It's kind of like a personal, this them too.
Yep. All right, and he kind of reaches up and rubs on his ear. You first. What's your story?
Touche.
I'll say, damn drow.
I damn the drow.
It's going to give him a nod.
Let's just say that a young drow noble of one of the major houses, well, he didn't like the way we served his rothe steak. And he left me with these scars without me ear. One day he'll pay. And he just turns around and walks out of the room, picks up a couple of dirty plates off the table and walks out of the room.
None of us hear this? Is that true?
Just EB. Anything else? I will say that you notice that Austal is pretty quiet throughout all of your all's conversations and discussions. He's got, you've got this big giant table out in the middle of the room, and he's sitting at the table, but he's kind of off to himself, if you will. It's a huge table, way bigger than what all of you all need.
I'd like to walk up to him.
Okay.
From the look of things, what we're doing seems to weigh heavily on you. How are you feeling about our duties here?
We have a job to do. Plain and simple.
Okay. Yeah. I have no want for wanton destruction. I want the demons to fall, go back to their abyss, but hopefully we can limit the destruction.
Tut, did you just get disconnected? Steven? Yeah, it looks like he might have lost internet. Give me a persuasion check. He takes a big deep breath and lets it out very slowly. I've been studying Viziran's work in crafting the talisman and performing the ritual. I do believe it will be successful. And when activated, when performed, that ritual will call all of the demons currently loose in the Underdark and release them upon this city. I have no love for the priestesses of Drow, priestess of the Loth, but I once loved this city, and I once loved many of the people in this city. Many of them will die. And he just kind of turns away and puts his drink up to his mouth and just drains his glass of wine, and he stands up and says, I'm going to take a short rest before I go find my contacts. Then he goes and finds Dalford Noakes to go up to his room. Go ahead.
I'll just tell him to, be well and rest well. If you think of any better solution or location to do the summoning to cause the little damage, let me know. From the looks of what you've told us, Donna Garden is really close to the House Bienry. We could take out a big major part of the trouble, the main people, and try to limit to that lake area and House Bienry, or Sorcerer, Artisanal, and Melee Max. I understand there's going to be a lot of extra damage is going to spread, but if we could try to localize.
We could take it out of the city, too.
Well, Vaziran has told you it needs to be in the city because that's where the ritual was initially.
Focus it to the noble houses.
Well,
so he kind of pauses and he just looks at you. He almost gives you the Larry David, really getting up in your face and looking at you, checking you out, trying to read you. And he just kind of nods and he turns around and heads off up to his room.
Zelron Roaring Horn made a comment about where we did this as well. And granted,
yeah, he did.
I don't know how many knows. He did make a comment about doing what we thought was best when he heard our plan.
Yeah. So that is what. So that's how the evening goes. Any discussions between each other? Do you all have any questions for each other? Anything you want to talk about? You want to?
Yeah, I'll just say this again. I know I've said it before, but I just want to keep reinforcing it. Is Chance is going along with all this. He is all in on the caper, so to speak, but he does not really trust Vizarin.
Yeah, I don't trust him either at all.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, if Alstel was having second thoughts, or Zelron was having second thoughts, or maybe this halfling is going to have second thoughts, or anybody that was having second thoughts, Chance is just very. He thinks he in general he trusts Vizarin in most of what he's saying, but he also thinks that we're all being played by Vizarin to a certain degree to do what he wants done. And I don't think it would be out of character for Vizarin at all to tell us half truths or what he wanted us to hear, or anything that suited his purposes.
Well, yeah, and I think we incited him enough to know that we believe this all will work and all that kind of stuff, but we know he also holds a grudge against the Drow, so destroying the city might, it's his problem.
And a huge grudge against Grom in particular.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And he may have ulterior motives on top of all that, and I think that this is what Shen thinks. He thinks that we're all just pawns in some kind of ulterior motive.
Yeah, so if we can do it someplace, I don't necessarily think that we have to do it, in the middle of town or, at where it was actually, done. I think location is, for these magic things, isn't particular usually, to.
Well, we need to find out, because he said it was, so I mean, is he full of shit or not? But it's definitely something to think about.
Shen
Perhaps that's
also
a discussion to press Alstel on. Who knows?
Or with the Spider Council.
Shen is also still keeping an eye on Zilchin. He just has not trusted him 100% since he took that, headband.
Yeah, I've always.
Somebody
He's had that the whole time.
Somebody gave it to him. I don't know what
It was
his
like a
problem.
family heirloom.
Well, here's the thing. It was in Shen's possession. He woke up and it was gone and on his head. So, and then we asked
Well, I think
him,
the one on his head is completely different than the one you're
really
thinking
drunk
of.
that night or something, 'cause I think you're remembering a little
Shen
differently.
was suffering from madness.
Oh, Shen didn't care at the time. Yeah, Shen did not care. He was suffering from madness. He was possessed by Froz or Blue. And
I think Froz got up in your noggin and you're thinking, you're remembering things a
when
little
you
too differently.
When you fucking strolled in with that headband on like a swinging dick, everybody was all pissed off. Shen didn't care two shits because he was possessed by Froz. So, but now that he's, clear-headed and it's already been accepted and everything like that,
He's earned
He
it.
might still be
told
possessed.
you that
I might.
I needed it, so I don't know, man. It sounds like something between you and.
Gabe, you said 100 times that one of us gave it to you, and it was in my possession, and I didn't give it to you.
Well, now keep in mind that I
But at
said
the
that I was
time,
playing Zilchin for a little while, and I was
Well, it was canon though.
Kate has continued.
Well,
Kate has
that's
continued. Kate has continued it. So. You're having
No,
some
I
fun.
Well,
at the
he's
time,
also
though.
changed his story, and now he says it was a family heirloom and nobody gave it to him.
Yeah.
He originally said that it was.
So
Zilchin
it's been
was
both.
his fair share.
I think there's a good chance that story will change yet again.
Yep. Ever since Wham cast the Greater Restoration on him to get rid of the possession, he has had his eye on Zilchin because of that very
Fair
thing.
enough.
But he also realizes too, same thing with EB. He doesn't trust EB as far as he can spit, but he understands that EB is a means to an end. Same thing with Zilchin, that we need him at this point to accomplish our goal. So he knows we need EB. So he doesn't trust him as far as he can spit. 'Cause of it. Same thing with Zilchin, but we need him. So. I just want everybody to know these guys not have it. And so,
He's got another thing
So,
coming.
guys, eventually, as you are, you've stuffed all the corners, you filled all the corners, if you will, in halfling parlance, and had downed a few bottles of wine, probably a good bottle of wine each. You make your way up to the room, or to your rooms, and as you guys are heading out of your private meeting room, Alstel comes down. You've been down there for a while, just relaxing for a change. Relaxing without.
Oh, that's gotta feel so
eating
good.
Just imagine you've been.
Got my
you've been
boots
under
off,
so
got my
much
feet up in
stress.
front of a fire.
So good. Shin
And-
takes his feet that don't have any boots, and he pretends to take boots off because he doesn't wear boots.
And so you just finally just completely just content. And as you're making your way out of the room, Alstel sticks his head in and says, "I'm off to meet my contact. I'll be back before morning." And he heads out into the evening, and you guys head up to your private rooms. And again, when's the last time any of you had a private room to just snug down into a bed all on your own?
Mantle Dareth.
Mantle Dareth.
Yeah.
probably, yeah. So
Shit,
was
that's a
it.
long
Yeah.
ass time ago.
Long
Dude, that
time.
was a sweet crib too, though, man. That was badass.
and you
Can't
know,
wait to get
yeah,
back
so-
there.
Yep. So you mean are you talking about Gauntlgram?
Where we had our own, we had that
Yeah, that
sweet
Gauntlgram's when you got
that
the
was
house.
awesome.
Gauntlgram,
Yeah.
That's right.
The house.
And so, or the estate, I guess.
Yeah, that was badass.
So
No. It was Graven Hollow. We had this pool.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Graven Hollow, you each had your own little rooms too. So, yep.
No,
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
customized.
I'm talking about that place that we had. We had our own maid.
Yeah, we've got our own manor, and we throw
That's
parties
not-
there and have bitches and the whole
Yeah, that was
thing.
That was
Gauntlgram.
Gauntlgram, yeah.
Yeah,
That
we
was
had
so-
like rooms in Graven Hollow for sure.
That was the shit, though.
Hot and cold
Yeah, the
running
rooms
French
in Graven
maids.
Hollow were
The
whatever
last
you
time we had
imagined them to
our own
be.
rooms was Graven Hollow.
Yeah, and that was whatever you imagined them to be is what they were.
Yeah.
So you all drift off to sleep, and for a change, you don't have many dreams. And you awaken in the morning and head down into the room, your private meeting room. Several things have happened. Alstel is there, and he says, "The Council of Spiders has been wiped out."
What?
And you look around, and Zilchin is nowhere to be seen.
What?
And you all level up.
Oh, fuck!
And we'll see you next week.
Oh man. Where's Zilchin?
Zilchin's gone.
Does
There you go.
what's his name?
Your
now?
suspicions turned him. I tried to give him a gift, and you guys
Oh,
turned him
come
against
on.
me.
I
It
didn't turn him again.
was definitely Shin's fault that
Nobody
he
knew
left.
that. Yeah.
You just couldn't let it go. That goddamn headband. You couldn't let
You
it
know who
go.
else didn't see this coming? Is Cade. He didn't know this was happening either.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
really.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
you didn't know?
Nope, I did not.
Oh, you did too.
I
Insight check.
Okay. So,
really did not.
so Kate, see you, buddy. I'm sorry we don't get this play anymore.
So everybody will level up to 16. Or no, wait, what level are you now?
14.
14. It's the
Everyone's
level.
leveling up to 15.
No, we're
No,
13.
no, we're
No,
13.
leveling up to 14. 14 levels.
14. Man,
Well, except
that's
for
when
Daiki.
you get some cool. I got some cool shit coming at 14,
If
dude.
Daiki and Zilchin are going to continue playing, do they get to like bump up a couple levels? To,
Nope, they get to level up one, just like everybody else.
That sucks.
One level.
Sorry, guys. All right, you guys
Could
leave
you-
it up.
I know
I'm
that was-
leveling up.
Yep, I'll leave it up. I know that was not another episode with not tons of action, but I think
Yeah,
it was,
but some
uh,
cool shit happened though.
That was like my favorite. I mean, not all. I mean, it's just that's the shit that I love, man. That
I like
was
it, too.
great. It was fantastic. Every bit of it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, get new
Good
spells.
stuff. Good stuff.
What was that, E-Beam?
I finally get some new spells.
All right.
Oh, I got some cool shit coming at 14, dude.
I do.
So for
too.
anyone that has watched us this evening, thank you for sticking with us. We hope you're enjoying the show. I'd love to hear some feedback. You can share on the Discord or the Twitch, however that gets done. I don't know anything about it, so well, we'd love to hear how we can make it better. So please let us know, and please keep joining us. We'll be back on our regular Sunday night on whatever day that is, the 5th, 6th. What is that? What's Sunday?
My mouse is
5th.
It's
Sunday the 5th is when we will be back. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, that was a great night. This was really fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
I like episodes like this.
Thank you all for being here. Take care. God bless. Take care of your families, and we'll see you next time. Sorry, that's kind of my normal sign off. I couldn't help it.
No, that's fine, dude. This is your show.
You know what
This is
you
your
need to
channel,
say?
man. You do you.
You need to say, take care of yourselves and each other.
Hello, babies.
That's Jerry Springer.
I need to do more like a Venus
I
flytrap
think if
sign
you're
off.
gonna steal somebody's material, it should be Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal Venus
each other.
flytraps. That's what I'm gonna steal.
If you could merge
Jerry-
both of them together, because they're both from Cincinnati, that would be perfect.
Jerry Springer, mayor of
WKRP
Cincy.
in Cincinnati.
How many do we have
Nice.
tonight, Jeff?
Well, I think at one point we had 7. We had 7 people when we. So another streamer rated us with just 3 people, but that put us to 7. We had 7 people for a little over an hour. But we held it about 3 to 4 the whole night. So we're up.
Nice.
Awesome. We're getting there.
We're up.
We are on our way to world domination.
That's it. Look out, GCP. Bitches.
They just wrapped up a campaign and we're ramping one up.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly
This is
right.
perfect time to make our move.
It's a perfect time.
Good
Tell
job, guys. I
can't-
I really thought there was a couple times there where things might go sideways.
Well, you know what? For the first time in forever, BE was amenable. So
And not here most of the
actually, I like Black Erron a lot better than Aaron Black. So
Black Erron's got a lot more sense.
yeah, he's
Everybody
actually a
good for
good
Sunday.
dude. As far as I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sunday's
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Good dealio, guys. Well done.
Yes, very nice guy.
Things
I
are
don't have any
about to start
spoilers just
getting even more interesting. John, I have no notes. All of that was basically off the cuff for me. I don't have anything to send you, except I can send you some names. But I basically made it all up as we went along.
That's very cool and not helpful.
Well, he's here to guide us, not to baby us.
I just want to let everybody know that level 14 is magical secrets for me, so that's no fucking joke.
What is that?
It's the same thing I had at level 6 and level 10. I get to pick a spell from any spell list.
Well, I'm just going to say this because I know that you at times get very frustrated when you can't, be like super offensive and engaged in the combat. So I'm going to suggest like a super offensive spell, like disintegrate or something.
Yeah,
But
that's a
you
good
do
one.
you.
Well, I've taken some pretty offensive ones as of late. I mean, at last level, I took prismatic spray. That's offensive as shit.
Yeah. Do we have Hunger Pit? Is that available? I don't think that's in D&D.
Torment gets to add at 14 Master of Hexes.
What does that
And
do?
so now when I cast my Hexblade's Curse, it doesn't go away after that person dies. I can transfer it to somebody else. So,
Okay.
and I also
Alright.
get to add, or I can switch invocation, and I've got a really cool invocation waiting in the. I've been waiting all this time to enact it, so
Okay.
it's gonna be
All right.
good.
Cool.
Hey,
All right.
Jared, is
I have
Yep.
access to Simulacrum. That's no joke.
That is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
What were you saying, CJ?
I'm gonna have to look something up. I think it was probably something. I was looking through Sorcerer, and I forgot that like at level 5 it says I can use magical guidance, and that's like roll a failed ability check using a sorcery point. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't specific to a certain type of sorcerer. So I'm gonna look it up, but if you wouldn't mind
Okay.
looking that up too to make sure, I don't want to.
Okay. So send that to me in a text because I will forget before we
Okay.
sign off. All right, guys. Is anybody leveling up now? And I can leave it up for as long as you need to.
Yeah, go ahead and leave it up. I think Tom was thinking about staying on, and I think